Are you wanting to build explosive power without needing a gym? This is going to be the video for you. I'm going to walk you through 5 awesome, powerful, explosive exercises to improve your athleticism that you can do at the comfort of your own home or anywhere without equipment. Let's get to it. Hey there, Brandon Spillane here from Thirst Gym, and today I'm going to walk you through my top 5 bodyweight exercises for athletes to improve explosiveness and power. As a gym owner, I quite often get parents and athletes ask me, what can I do at home to improve my athleticism that I don't need a gym? Obviously, the stuff behind me works great to help improving your overall potential as an athlete, but doing things extra can also help enhance your ability to be a better athlete. So these 5 exercises are things I think any athlete can do anywhere, anytime to immediately improve their athletic performance. Let's talk about it. All right, the first exercise I love for athletes using body weight are just good old-fashioned broad jumps. Now, the reason I like broad jumps is because we're propelling ourselves forward in space, so this can help improve our ability to run faster and move faster forward. Majority of sports are going to require us to run or accelerate or be fast to a ball or to an object or to a person, and so broad jumps work great in terms of building that double leg power but moving forward and propelling the body forward. There's tons of different broad jump variations, but the gist of it is standing in a nice athletic stance, arms coming back and jumping as far as we can and explosively as we can, and sticking that landing with every single rep that we do. We can perform this over hurdles. We can perform this doing a rotational broad jump, actually getting some rotation involved. You can do it from a single leg perspective and landing on both legs. There's plenty of ways to implement this exercise, so use your imagination, but make sure some kind of broad jump variation is in your training program. I recommend doing these for 3 to 5 sets of 5 to 6 reps, depending upon what kind of implement that you happen to be using to enhance your broad jump. So just make sure that you're working forward in space and trying to push yourself forward, and as you're doing it, arms come back and hands always come forward. And it seems really basic, but the biggest issue I see with most athletes, especially younger athletes, is as they go to jump forward, they do one of these things, okay? Arms are going to go back as your hips go back, and as your hips come forward, we're going to bring our arms forward to land in that athletic stance. All right, the second exercise I love for athletes to work on vertical jumping, because we don't want to maybe have a box or something to jump over, is going to be tuck jumps. Now, I've talked about tuck jumps in several videos for multiple different sports, and again, because it's super scalable no matter where you're at, almost any athlete can do them, and we're going to, again, work on triple extension vertically, but we're actually also going to actively work on driving our knees up and being in a flex position. So you can do these 2 different ways primarily. You could do them as a dead stop with each rep, trying to get as high as you can each one, and bringing your knees up and owning that position. Or you could do them reactively, going 1 rep into the other as high as you can for every single one that you're doing. This is a good way to mimic doing hurdle hops and jumps and different box jump variations. But again, like I said, I like that we're getting an active flex position. Just like with our broad jumps, 3 to 5 sets of 5 to 6 reps is a great spot to start. And then you can implement different things here. You can work on doing different rotational variations, as well as moving forward and backwards slowly in space as you're doing them. If you really want to kick this up a notch, you have access to a hill. You can essentially take your broad jump and your tuck jump, throw them together and do a broad jump up a hill, and do that reactively, and that's going to give you a nice bang for your buck with both of these exercises if you can get to a nice, good, steep hill. All right, exercise number 3 is going to be for the upper body, and this is another exercise that I've talked about in the past that I really like, and that's the plyometric push-up or the plyo push-up. You do need a base level of strength to be able to do this from the ground. However, I'll show you a way you can do it if you can't do them from the ground to be explosive. So since we're trying to develop power, we want these to be explosive. If they feel grindy and slow, you need to elevate your hands. So just a basic demonstration, we're gonna be in our normal push-up position, come down and press up as fast as we can. We can also do these from a dead stop, so I was doing them a little bit more reactive, but I could actually start from the stop, or top here, come down, boom, stop, reabsorb that force, and go again. That's gonna be a little bit harder because it's going to eliminate some of the stress shortening cycle as we go to do that, build up that kinetic energy. So, if you want to eliminate that, you can, but What you can do is elevate your hands to make this even more explosive. So as I mentioned, if you have a hard time doing this with the floor, you're gonna find a bench, a couch, something that just gets your hands elevated off the ground. That's gonna make the physics a little bit easier to do the exercise. And then you're just gonna do your push-up position from that exact same thing, but notice how much higher I'm getting. I'm able to be more explosive and more powerful, letting me develop a more explosive chest and upper body to push athletes out of the way. Just like with the other exercises, recommend 3 to 5 sets of 5 to 6 reps on each one, and that's gonna do a lot to improve your explosiveness and your upper body. All right, number 4 on my list, and any powered explosive-based movements would not be complete without lateral bounds. Moving side to side is a big piece of being an explosive and powerful athlete. Most athletes are going to need to move side to side in their sport to be able to change direction, absorb force, chase somebody, and overall just be a better athlete on the field or court. So we have, again, several different ways we can do our lateral bound variations. The gist of it is going to be starting on one leg, jumping as far as we possibly can, sticking that position and owning it, and going back and forth as we go to do that. We can do this in 2 different ways, forcing on the absorption force. We can focus on trying to go as far as possible versus trying to get a little bit of an arc. So trying to get as much force side to side, or as I showed, we can kind of try to go up and over, trying to get some kind of actual vertical height on each jump. The other thing that we can do is we can perform these more reactive. So, we can focus on that stick, which is great for improving hip stability, ankle stability, and owning that position. I highly recommend this for female athletes because they do have a harder time getting that hip stability because of their Q angle, the way that's going to work with their body. However, in the reactive side, we can do these back and forth. Again, just going back and forth. And some people will call these Haydns, but I also call them lateral bounds, where we're just going back and forth, absorbing that force, creating that force, and going back and forth, getting in and out of the hips. For this, you could do these several different ways in 3 to 5 sets of anywhere from 5 to 10 reps on each side, depending upon how you're kind of doing them. You can also do the reactive ones for time. Lots of different ways that you can implement these into your training. But if you are an athlete that changes direction, this is a must-have exercise to help you be more explosive. All right, the 5th and final exercise here is going to be split squat jumps. And I recommend these a lot for athletes because if you happen to be advanced, for sure, this is one great way to improve the intensity of your plyometrics and your power that you're doing at home. But also, majority of athletics are performed on one leg. So being able to create force vertically through one leg is awesome, and split squat jumps is a good way to be able to maximize the amount of force we're putting into the ground and landing in an athletic split stance position. Just like with most of our other plyometrics that I've kind of showed you here, you can perform these reactive or with dead stops depending upon what you want and how hard you want to make them and what you may need as an athlete. So I'll show you both variations here. The first one's going to be just focusing on sticking the landing but still getting as high as we can. Again, just like with our broad jump, as I go down, my hands are going to come down. As I go up, my hands are going to come up. So here, stick, down, stick. Landing in an athletic stance each time. If I want to perform these more rhythmic or reactive, I'm just going to go 1 rep right into the other. I may not be able to get as high, but I'm trying to load those tissues and stay springy. Just like with the rest of all our other work, 3 to 5 sets, 5 to 6 reps on each side is a good sweet spot. Ample rest, make sure you're getting high intent, high effort, and obviously doing both sides. Note if you have one leg that's not quite as strong or quite as explosive, you probably do have a favorable side. You can do a couple extra sets of reps on that side to try to bridge that gap if you do believe that something is holding you back from your athletic explosive endeavor. And so there you have it. There are my 5 exercises to be more explosive and be a better athlete that you can do anywhere, even from the comfort of your own home. If you happen to enjoy today's video, you took one awesome thing away, one thing you're gonna use, you like videos like this, do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe, share with a friend, leave a comment, and I'll see you at the next video.